you see here where it reads in this document, adult guardianship has been characterized as both a gulag and a godsend, in which people with disabilities, including older individuals with dementia, lose their rights in the name of protection, regardless of the good intentions of and essential care provided by many guardians who often step in at crisis points. Guardianship is one of society's most drastic interventions in which fundamental rights are transferred to a surrogate, leaving an individual without choice and self-determination. In 1987, Representative Claude Pepper said in a historic congressional hearing that the typical ward has fewer rights than the typical felon. Moreover, guardianship generally is plenary and permanent, leaving no way out until death do us part, but often far harder to undo than a marriage. So we see outlined there that guardianship is a form of marriage. It's a form of yoking one person to another unjustly, like an inverted marriage, basically. And under it, those who are yoked have fewer rights than felons do. Okay? And this is exactly how the psychiatric state system works. This is how they imprison and enslave. As Thomas Szasz said, I will cite Thomas Szasz for coining the term psychiatric slavery. And that's it in a nutshell. I mean, what else proof do you need to begin as an activist, stand up against especially psychiatric guardianships, to abolish psychiatric guardianships, to abolish psychiatry in general? Why is it seen as just in a society where an inequality exists in that felons, violent offenders are given more rights than innocent people? That, that's just not right. It shouldn't be. But this is a for-profit industry, psychiatry. They're in cahoots with, of course, Big Pharma to poison anyone who doesn't think the same as them. And they have criminalized free thought. This is unjust in society as well, the criminalization of free thought. It's also the criminalization of belief in psychic phenomena. It is the criminalization of scientific inquiry into psychic phenomena. They even have a diagnosis in the DSM-5, the current DSM, which has existed, I'm not sure how many DSMs it's been in, but it's called shared psychosis. And this diagnosis is a diagnosis which is basically suggesting psychic phenomena exist, and that mental illness is a psychic phenomena which must be contained, quarantined, and dealt with in order so that it is not a contagion, a psychic contagion to other people. In the French, it's known as folie à deux, or shared psychosis. It is where one person's psychotic beliefs somehow, and they don't explain how scientifically, like they don't explain anything like they don't explain anything scientifically in psychiatry. It's just an assumption and belief, which is part superstition, part psychic claim of psychic phenomena. But all their claims of psychic phenomena are negativist and disease-mongering in order for them to gain a profit or garner a new task or whatever treatment for them to do, of course, that garners them money. So I'll get more into that later. Maybe I'll bring up some text documents on shared psychosis and the fact that they're making psychic claims, claiming that one person's psychosis can transfer to another person. And they're still saying that that's not psychic, but they will lock you up and torture you to death if they believe that you believe psychic phenomena exist, or if you believe you're psychic. Which, by the way, there's no evidence, and no one ever talks about the fact that voice hearing is very clearly, very blatantly, obviously psychic phenomena, and it is not a disease. That would be as if I said that my ability to form words or do basic biological functions was a disease, simply because I could, and then I could make money off of it. It's a complete fraud. You take a phenomenon that has not been explained because science is at an impasse, at a point where they can't understand the physics or the mechanisms behind the phenomena. And then the medical industry, theologically and moralistically, goes ahead and criminalizes it, basically makes it a sin for you to recognize it, or for you to be a part of that phenomena, in order to generate not only income for themselves and for the powers that be and the status quo, but also to control the population socially. In other words, it's a tool of social control. It's equivalent to the Copernican revolution, where at first the universe was thought to be geocentric, that is, the sun revolved around the earth, and the church had punished anyone who thought anything different than the church had basically edicted or dictated as reality. And now psychiatry is another theology, which is Christian as well. It's an offshoot of psychiatry, is an offshoot of Christianity. It was created by a Christian. Okay. That believed in demon possession and he transferred the concept of demon possession to the concept of mental illness. He medicalized demon possession, or the belief, superstitious belief, and demon possession is now what we see today. Okay, so I will give more supporting evidence to this effect in a later video. But as you can see here, the psychiatric state is an unjust society, is an unjust type of form of government, and it's a theocracy, which is rule by religious belief, because this is not science. They don't have scientific proof that psychosis can be shared with another person. This is just simply a way of controlling, of thought control, brainwashing, propaganda, and social control. All right, again, this has been Tony, and please, if you enjoyed this, subscribe and like and leave a comment, and I will see you in the next